I want to walk you through the most important steps you need to know to get your BERNINA 570 ready for embroidery. Now we have already attached to the embroidery unit, and yes, I am using the slide-on table that you usually use for the sewing side with the embroidery. I've hooped up my fabric with the right stabilizer, so make sure you check out all the tips that we've done on our how to hoop the fabric video. I'm also using the thread stand that I highly recommend, and we'll put links below if you are looking for a thread stand for your machine. That has a metal base, so that's not one of those wobbly ones, but I do like a thread stand because number one, I don't have to worry about the spool cap that's hard for me to always be putting on as I'm changing color to color. I can just put the thread on there. I went up to the top little guide, and then I've come over to the first guide of the machine. Now, since I'm talking thread, I want to show you the most important part for threading the machine is I want you to go ahead and take this in your hand and then come straight down the tension area like you normally do and then up. Right here, I want you to take the thread and give it a little bit of a floss. By doing that, you're making sure the thread goes all the way down in the tension discs where it needs to be, and so you don't get those big hairy loops on the underneath of your hoop. At least they are easy to remove, but they're more the hassle. You gotta kind of start over and everything. Make sure your thread is threaded correctly, and then you don't have to worry about that. I've also put on an embroidery needle so that it does have a nice sharper point to it. It is a bigger size because I am going to be using some in the hoop projects that have lots of layers. That's coming up. Foot number 26 is our embroidery foot that is on the machine now. And you'll be reminded to do this, but I'm going to do it right now. Come right over here and push the box in so you lower the feed dogs. Your machine will actually not let you embroider without that being activated. And if you don't get it pushed in all the way, again, and it comes back out, it should be feels like it's pushed in and stays indented, then you know it's actually correct. Now, remember, don't put your hoop on the machine just yet. That is a tendency people like to do, but I have no problem of you putting it just underneath the foot and just leave it on the bed of the machine. Then that way you can get into the machine, get everything all set up for the next design that you're doing. Oh, and by the way, we have bobbin thread in our bobbin, and that's a much thinner thread than your embroidery weight thread, and that is super easy. Most of the time it's just white, so it's easy to find, and I usually just wind up a bunch of bobbins as I get ready to stitch. The last thing is if you have purchased a straight stitch throat plate, that is an optional accessory for this machine. I recommend it for free motion quilting if you're using your BERNINA stitch regulator, even straight stitching, a single or center needle position, but it's also good for embroidery. Now, if that is on your machine, make sure that you go in and tell it you have a straight stitch throat plate on. Then you don't forget, go back to sewing, then pick a decorative stitch and break your needle. So I do like that because that single hole just stabilizes that needle going in and out of your fabric all day long at that really high rate of speed. Now, just a reminder, we have 20 free videos that you can watch for our Embroidery Essentials course. Those are the 3 quilts that we have lined up. We have refilmed that entire course on a BERNINA. And if you want to master your machine in the shortest amount of time, go from 0 to hero, click on those links below, check out the free videos, and see if that course is right for you. I'd love to have you in class, and you'll have access to me with any and all of your questions as you get started with your beautiful BERNINA embroidery machine.